Nick Bear. He's an Ironman, a bodybuilder, an ultra runner, a father, a CEO, and a 2:39 marathoner. He trains so hard, eats like an absolute god. Honestly, the jury's kind of out on whether he's human or not. He's a little too impressive. So today, I'm going to be attempting to eat his diet at all costs. It seems like a really weird combo. And train exactly like him. Today, I'll find out exactly what it takes to be an Iron Ultra Marathon muscle man with 1 million subscribers on YouTube. And let me tell you, it's not easy. So, let's go. Like any reasonable person, Nick starts his day with coffee, so I'm having my classic pour over, but coffee is not all he has. He also makes a carb and electrolyte drink using G1M Sport, so I'm making my version with Element and untapped maple syrup. This drink has about 700 milligrams of sodium and 40 grams of carbs, and this is what Nick drinks for his pre-run fueling. It's a pretty tasty beverage, but I honestly just felt like I didn't have time to give my coffee the attention it deserved. Do I look just like him? I'm not good at flexing that side. I gotta get the other side out.
I would say you look exactly like him.
George can't even tell it's me. He's barking. He thinks there's an intruder in the house. There is an intruder, George. It's Nick. First move of the day is I'm going on a run. I'm doing a 10-mile run, which is exactly what Nick did in this video. I'm basically just copying a full day in the life video. So in the interest of doing everything like Nick, I quickly put on my running shoes and without any procrastination, headed out the door. And this was a nice 10-mile run. It actually was a sunny day in Seattle, so it was absolutely beautiful. And Spence filmed this for me, so huge shout out to him. He's so helpful with these videos in getting everything filmed. And I was really enjoying this run, as I do most runs. Nick talks about how much he appreciates and enjoys running in the solitude of it, and I completely agree. I basically decided to try and live like Nick Bear today because I just think he's super inspirational. He's a CEO and a dad, but also finds the time to really seriously chase after these very lofty goals. He just pursues them with such discipline and grit and intentionality. I admire that so much. It's cool to experience other people's lifestyles, see what they're like. You never know when you might be able to pull something away from it. It can add value to your own life. Right after running, Nick takes his supplements. I am taking my multivitamin, which is Ritual, a clinically tested, vegan, non-GMO, common allergen-free supplement. This is the essential vitamin for women 18 plus. It helps with brain health, bone health, blood building, and antioxidant support, many of which are very important for athletics. And even if I have a completely balanced diet, it's hard to get every single nutrient that I need. That's why I like to take Ritual to have that assurance that I'm definitely getting everything I need every day. It's also third-party lab tested. They go above and beyond the industry standard to make sure that this has none of the extras or allergens or microbes or heavy metals. Ritual is also unique in that it has a specially designed delayed release capsule. It dissolves later in the small intestine, which is the ideal place to absorb nutrients. It's also designed to be gentle on the stomach, so you can take this with or without food. So if you're looking to start a daily ritual that can support your athletic and health goals, Ritual is a great place to start. Right now, Ritual is offering 30% off during your first month. So scan the QR code on the screen or visit ritual.com/Allie Ostrander 30 to get started today. This morning for breakfast, we have some egg whites with whole eggs and oats added in. It seems like a really weird combo to me, but you know, if he's putting oats in his eggs, maybe we should all be putting oats in our eggs. He also puts a lot of egg whites, so we really gotta go hard on those.
He has the same length torso as you.
I know. This is just an aggressive amount of eggs. Aggressive. This is when the real magic happens. We get the oats going right in the eggs. Let's get a nice slow-mo shot of this. There is nothing like oats in your eggs in the morning. Put this under there one more time. I'm not getting it. And then on the side, 1 cup of kefir. The thickness of that liquid was shocking. He has honey in his, but I'm gonna use maple syrup. A banana. So this is the breakfast. Honestly, not bad. I know you're gonna try to do a joke right now. Just waiting to see which direction you go.
Tastes like eggs to me. I don't taste the oats at all. It's just extra good food. Ugh. Ugh.
Other than the kefir, this breakfast was actually really good. It had about 45 grams of protein, so I thought I'd feel overly full, but it was actually a really good amount of food. I know that this is a controversial opinion, but I really think bananas are an extremely overrated fruit. As an ingredient, they're great. As just taking a bite, I would never choose this over like almost any other fruit. Cade. You having a nice lunch?
The best.
This lunch was a wholesome combo of lean ground meat, beans, sweet potatoes, and beets. I decided to air fry my beans because I really like something crunchy in a dish. And then I just cooked the meat and steamed the beets in the microwave and then crisped up the sweet potatoes a little bit on the stovetop. And that was pretty much the meal. Again, this had about 40 grams of protein, so I thought I'd be way too full, but I actually really enjoyed it. I feel like this is one of the most like colorful, just wholesome meals I've ever seen. It's good. Air frying the beans was definitely the call because plain beans, just terrible. Kind of similar to bananas. Like, why would you ever want to eat that? Oh. I forgot that with his lunch he also has some Greek yogurt, so I've got some vanilla Greek yogurt here. He has plain, but listen, I can't have plain Greek yogurt by itself. It's out of the question. Glad we're getting in some more protein. I'm really low on protein for the day, so needed. After lunch, Spence and I went out to the fields to play some frisbee with Georgie. Nick Bear's a dad. Sometimes you gotta take care of the kids, you know? I raced Georgie to the frisbee and sadly, the student has already overtaken the master. Couldn't quite get the dub.
You don't get some pants on soon, I'm gonna unfortunately have to call the nearest mailman.
We finished up playing frisbee and then headed to the gym because I was going to be doing an upper body lift. The first exercise is dumbbell bench press. He uses 115s, so I'll just grab those. Look, unfortunately we only have 75, so I'll just have to settle for that. I'm just gonna end the joke before I injure myself. To be honest, this is my first arm workout in about a year. I was certainly struggling, but I knew if I wanted to be Nick Bear, I had to start somewhere. When he did this in his video, he had 110 pounds on each side, so he was doing 180 pounds more than I am right now. The 20s feel pretty hard though. It's actually crazy though that like he trains arms this much. Just mean like, with running being his goal, I wouldn't really train arms that much.
Yeah.
At this point in the workout, I wasn't even halfway done and my arms were already shaking uncontrollably and I was reaching failure very quickly on these exercises, but the feeling of pushing myself to failure is addictive and I was loving it. It feels like my arms just did a tempo run.
That's what happens when a distance runner tries to work out like Nick Bear. You know, Nick, if you're watching this video, you're a cool guy and I'm always open to a collaboration on my YouTube channel. Email me.
I shook out the arms a little and then did some tricep pushdowns, which looking back, I think I did incorrectly, but it was an honest effort. And then I flexed for the camera because I wanted you guys to see how huge my triceps were. The second to last exercise was tricep dips, which usually I'm pretty decent at, but with the state that my arms were in right now, they were a huge struggle and I was reaching failure very quickly.
Yikes. What do you have to say?
There are no words for the state my arms are in right now. It's illegal in 48 states. That's all I'll say. And now we're gonna finish off with 4 sets of 25 push-ups.
What?
Definitely illegal in all 50 states.
All right, let's see what happens here.
I was very determined going into this workout to do exactly what Nick did. Maybe not the same weights, but all the same reps and schemes.
Just DNF.
There will be no DNFs. myself. But after I started trying to do push-ups and got to rep 11 and was failing, I realized that I was gonna have to split this into as many sets as I needed. I'm looking pretty bad.
Not there.
After absolutely grinding through 99 reps, I failed at rep 100 2 times in a row, so I figured I deserved the epic music for this final rep. With severely throbbing arms, it was now time to head home and make a post-workout snack. Post-workout snack is a raisin English muffin with cranberry sauce and protein sludge made with Transparent Labs vegan protein just mixed with water. He put smashed up raspberries on his, but I didn't have raspberries. Nick also had an apple with his meal, but this was already a pretty big snack for me with 45 grams of protein, so I knew that I wouldn't need that to be full and satisfied here. I didn't quite finish. I don't need this much protein. I think everyone can agree that Nick Bear and I are slightly different sizes. Gonna save this for another time. So yes, I am training like Nick, but I'm also following my own training plan because I've got goals to shoot for. I think he would fully support that. So yeah, I'm doing my bike right now. Even though Nick didn't bike in the video that I'm copying, he is a triathlete, and I know he would never compromise his own training for a YouTube video, so I figured it was only right to do this. Okay, so for dinner we are having honey mustard chicken thighs with crispy rice and butternut squash. Nick gave exact preparation instructions for the rice and chicken in his video, so I followed those precisely, and then I just kind of went for it with the butternut squash. It's pretty self-explanatory. Everything went smoothly. The chicken just turned out fantastic. The butternut squash was looking beautiful. However, the crispy rice was a different story. I pushed through the heartbreak though and just plated up my meal with a balsamic glaze, and it was absolutely beautiful and also pretty much identical to what Nick made, so hats off to me. Really good. The honey mustard is so nice on there, and it goes really well with the squash. I gotta get a bit more of this rice though. It is actually crispy. The rice is another one of those foods that I just don't think it's that good. I am bringing out a lot of controversial food opinions in this video, so feel free to roast me, but I'm just telling it how it is in my own personal subjective opinion.
8.64892 out of 10.
I enjoyed the rest of that meal and actually had seconds because I was still a little bit hungry. And then I started making dessert, which is cottage cheese and fruit. In his video, Nick had just whole cottage cheese with some peaches, but I didn't have peaches, so I used oranges, and I also blended my cottage cheese because I prefer the texture, and then that was drizzled with maple syrup, and it was pretty tasty. Not quite dessert, but really good, and I just ate that while we watched Survivor. All right, it's a couple days later, and I just wanted to reflect on the experience a little bit. First off, my arms were in severe pain. Second off, I think it's really hard to take anything away from Nick. He clearly works really hard for everything that he has, and I respect that about him so much. The only small critique I would have about anything is just that even though I was full throughout the day and got plenty of protein in, I never really felt satisfied. I think part of that is because we have different taste preferences, like, you know, the beans and bananas. But I also think a part of it is that Nick really treats both his training and his diet as like very regimented aspects of his life. And for me, I think that I need food to be a little bit more flexible with my history of an eating disorder, and I need to be able to follow my cravings and eat both for joy and for performance. Not saying that he doesn't get joy out of his food, it's just that for me personally, that would look different. As I mentioned so many times throughout the video, I respect and am inspired by Nick so much, so I don't want this to come off as me saying that there's something wrong with his diet. It's just that it wouldn't work for me, but it clearly works for him, so that's great. And yeah, that's all for now, folks.